blessing and we think, well, I'm going to get a brand new car next week. Mysteriously arrive in my driveway. God's blessings are much greater than that. So don't think that, if I just give money to Israel, I'm going to have, if I give $10 to Israel, $100 is going to show up in my mailbox. It doesn't have to be that, but we're to bless the nation of Israel. Now, while we're in the church age, remember the next event is the rapture. That's what we're going to be looking for. God has a plan for Israel, and He's working that out. But again, we're going to focus on, we're going to be looking for our Lord's return. Like I said, it's nice to know about the current events and how things might be fitting in, but it's really, what you want to be able to say is, I could give the same discussion 100 years ago, before the nation of Israel, as I do now. It shouldn't matter. And I remember I was taking in fact, when Jay went to that conference, he met one of my professors from Capitol, Dr. Beal, and I remember him saying, because I took a class with him, and we went into a lot of the Dead Sea Scroll materials, and it was about how, he was getting into, he says, I would have taught this class the same way if I didn't have the Dead Sea Scroll materials. It just gives me more evidence. So anything we see happening with Israel is really just more evidence, but it shouldn't change what we believe is in the Scriptures. So, like I said, I could have taught it 100 years ago, I can teach it now, I can teach it 100 years from now, it shouldn't matter. But remember, what we should be focusing on is the Lord's return. Not that we're date setting, but that's what our blessed hope is. It's not in what's going on Wall Street, what's going on in the Middle East, how much the price of oil is. We're looking for the Lord's return. And then remember, the Messianic kingdom it's going to have an Old Testament, what I call Old Testament Jewish flavor to it. And I hear some things there'll be the temple with little sacrifices for atonement. The nation will celebrate the feasts. The Messiah will be reigning from Jerusalem. And Israel will be a kingdom of priests. So why is that important? Well, I always feel like, if we're going to be celebrating Passover in the Millennial Kingdom, why don't we celebrate it now? Now, I'm not saying it legalistically, and I'm not saying, you have to, but why not enjoy the blessings? Why not enjoy the millennial blessings now? So the more we learn about these things and we do these things, we learn about God. And if we're learning about things we're going to do anyway, so then you can step aside, and say, I've done that, So I know what that means. But anyway, so really the focus is that, let's let the Bible speak for itself and not put the Bible in our terminology. Let's allow the Messianic kingdom to be about God ruling over the world from the nation of Israel, and not about some spiritual thing we have here on earth now. It is what the Bible says it is. So anyway, those are the things that were impactful to me through here. Hopefully, you enjoyed it and tied some things together, and hopefully understood some things. I know we took some rabbit trails down different things, because Matt was gracious, I didn't have to be done by a certain day. It allowed me to do that and answer some questions about Joel and Acts and how they relate together, and we talked about the two-state solution, and is that really what they're aiming for, and stuff like that. So there's things that were very interesting to me too. So I enjoyed that. Any questions? Yeah.
You may have addressed this last week when I wasn't here. But
We did.
Okay. Well, that clears it up for me, so I won't
we'll go over it again.
The statement of their nations will celebrate feasts. Will there be different governments? I thought it was one government in the millennium.
Well,
how can there be a different nation? How can there be a different nation without being different governments? I guess is my question.
Okay, how many states are we?
How many states?
Yeah, United States is how many?
50.
Okay. So each state has a governor, but the governor, in a sense, there's a ruler over the governor.
So
I'm giving you a perfect analogy.
No.
But we have a president who's the ruler.
Right.
And then we have these mini rulers over the states, and then we have mini rulers over the cities. And so it's going to be like that. So are you trying to find a scripture?
I'm trying to refute you guys. No, I actually, exactly what you're saying. Joy, go ahead, what you're saying.
No,
but-
well, what I'm trying to figure out is, okay, what will differentiate nations? Will it be races? Will it be, how do you know?
Ethnos, I think.
Or
Sorry?
geographical.
Geographical?
I mean, everybody over here is
Is
living over there and they need a ruler. or
Is
something
it
like that.
genetic, or is it where you
Well, let's
live?
look
or-
at like the Tower of Babel. Remember, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people left at the end of the tribulation.
Okay.
There's not going to be a lot of people left.
That makes sense.
But they're going to be, they're going to repopulate the earth. They're going to spread out, just like they did
Right.
at the Tower of Babel. They spread
Right.
out, and
Right.
nations sprung up out of that.
And that-
I mean, I don't think we're told dynamically, but I do remember, Jesus talking about some of the parables, how, this one will get to be ruled over this many nations, and this one gets to rule over these many nations.
Well, I guess too, if you think about it in the context of how much, things have changed in 1,000 years, a lot of stuff can happen in 1,000 years. So I
Well,
guess
also
that
think
makes
about
sense.
this, that there's not going to be that much death, and there won't be, there really won't be war until the end.
Right.
And life is going to be much simpler, and when I say simple, I should say easier.
Uh-huh.
And so you're not going to have 10 children dying from death, at birth.
Uh-huh.
So the population is going to get quite large. I mean, they'll probably go in the billions and billions and billions pretty quickly.
But all nations will be under the authority of Jesus Christ.
Right. And I think when it says all nations, it'll be representatives from those nations will come up. It's not like the Muslims when they have the Hajj and they don't have to go up there.
Right.
I think it'll be the representatives of the nations will go up for the different feasts.
Right.
And by implication, I would think that probably the believers would probably celebrate the feasts, where they're at. By implication.
Right, I understand.
It would seem that way. But they're not all going to be able to come. As large as, the new temple will be, they all won't be able to come up to that.
Honestly, I've never really thought about the millennium in a literal sense.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the truth of it. I'd never
When
really
you
thought about it
do,
literally.
you start to get all these, well, how does this happen? What happens here? And there's a lot of, then you start getting into a lot of conjecture, but not bad. But yeah.
Just something I've been curious about. Will the millennium, will it be more like Christ's time, or will it be like, will we have some of the same technologies that we have now?
John, you're psycho.
I think the same way. And I laugh because like I'm going to know. But
You're a scientist.
I'm not a futurist. I can't rule, But here's what I will say is that the nations of the world are all going to come up, it seems. They have to get there.
Yeah.
So somehow there's going to be some sort of travel that's probably a little faster than a horse and buggy. So that's just one implication. What's the implication of that is it's probably going to be at least travel technology, right? If they're going to be able to come up to all the nations they're expected to come up, they have to be able to get there.
Right.
Just think of it this way. Let's take Steve Jobs, right, as an example. Now, he was not a believer, most probably. Died at 56. He was a genius, right?
Right.
Well, what happens if he lives 300-400 years? Can you imagine the creativity just one person like that could have? Thomas Edison. You can just go down the list of, and the world, we're going to have a lot more of those types of people, I think, on Earth. And sin is not, yes, there'll be sin, but sin is going to be less prevalent. And so the greater good is going to happen. You turn your weapons into plowshare, all these things. So it would seem to me that we're going to have technology. The question is, in what fashion? What fuel will they use? All those things we don't know. Will they, and remember, Jesus can also sit there and teach too, and he can tell them what to do. So we can imagine one thing, but Jesus, he's ruling. And, he's probably going to rule over a pretty sophisticated kingdom. It's not, in my mind.
But there will definitely be no texting.
He wants his board game. I know.
While you're flying, no texting.
Right. Now, there's just a lot. If you start to ponder the kingdom in 1,000 years, and people going into it, what will their technology be? What will they remember?
Yeah.
So there's lots of implications. You want to say something, Matt?
And apparently that dynamic still happens in the eternal state though, because I was, Joy was talking, I was looking up Revelation 21, verse 24, and the nation, no, that's not it. Give me just a second.
He lost it.
I lost it. It was here.
No, there seems to be in the end of Revelation a distinction between the nations, even into the. Now, I had one of my professors at Capitol said, no, the distinctions end at the Messianic, the end of the Millennial Kingdom. But I look at that verse and I'm like, no, there still seems to be nations.
Right.
So, because he was saying that this Jew and Gentile distinction ends at the Messianic Kingdom, and I can understand that. I mean, it's been fulfilled. But that's it. If there's nations, well, Israel's still a nation.
21:24 says, the nations will walk by its light, and the kings of the earth will bring their glory to it, and they will bring their glory and honor. The glory and honor of the nations will come into the eternal city, basically, is what it says. So there are still kings, there are still nations, even then.
Yeah. So that's why I still think there's even the Jew-Gentile distinction into the eternal state.
Right, that would
But
make
others
sense.
don't. And again, it's implications, so
Right.
we don't get worked up over
Right,
people
I agree.
agreeing, thinking of things
Right.
differently. Yeah.
The main thing is that, we think about, well, how about, are we gonna have the same husband? Oh, and I think.
Yes.
Listen, I'm saying that those things, whether or not we have devices, we're going to worship the Lord so much. It will take all day and all night, forever and ever, to worship Him.
Well-
And it's not going to be what we're missing, from this place.
We're going to be married to
Yes, but that's what I'm
So we'll be
saying.
married to the Lord.
Yes,
So,
I'm
but
just saying,
I-
we're not gonna miss anything.
And he won't be
I-
good enough for some people.
And I hear this a lot, that we're going to be worshiping all day. I don't know where I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I'm not saying we're not going to be worshiping, but I don't know that there's a scripture that really indicates we're going to be worshiping all day long. I think there's going to be work to be done. We're going to be in there. The whole idea of ruling and reigning.
But everything we do will
Yeah.
be to please Him.
Exactly, I agree, yes.
And
But I've talked to people that says, oh, we're just going to be up on a cloud, and
No,
it's going to be so much fun just worshiping the
eating
Lord.
chocolates.
I think it's going to be more like the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have a resurrection body, and the people who come into the millennium will not.
That's correct. But in the eternal state, they'll have a resurrected body. So, but I'm saying,
I
they'll
don't
be,
think we'll miss anything. That's
No.
what I'm trying to
whatever
say.
we have now is a shadow of what we'll have, So whatever good relationship you have now is a shadow of the relationships you'll have in the kingdom. Now, what that means, how that played out. Like I said, if for some reason you're not married to your spouse anymore, God knows that already. He's taking care of that.
Right.
That's the only way I can look at it. But doesn't he, when he's talking about the Sadducees, he says they try to trick him on the question.
Right.
He says there's no marriage in the kingdom. So
I'm basically saying, not just, that
Right.
was just a hypothetical question. It's like anything that we feel like we're missing on earth, we won't.
no, you won't feel like we feel like we're gonna miss it now. Like I always think about my thing is that's eternity's a long time. I get bored.
How, if I find out mine cannot go to.
That's what I'm getting at. And Eliana asked me the other day. She said, "Dad, I have a question you can't answer." I said, "Okay, what's your question?" She says, "Where did God come from?" And that's a great question. And the answer is God didn't come from anywhere. He always was and always will be. He's what they call the uncaused cause. He was. He's just the self-existent one. So she doesn't understand. It's hard for her to understand all that. But that's what it is.
Some things we take literally.
We don't understand everything.
No.
And we don't have answers to everything. But what we do know is whatever we have here is a shadow of what we'll have in eternity.
We have enough answers.
Yeah. We have enough answers to keep us looking up and hoping, and when life gets tough, we have enough answers to know that there's something better that God has for us. So that's why I think it gives us some glimpses of the future, is really to kind of give us